Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Foreign Football Forecast. This is your co-host Patrick Monaghan, and I'm joined by my co-host Luis Lord. Luis, dímelo.
¿Cómo está, mi amigo? ¿Todo bien?
Ya tú sabes, aquí estamos llevando suave para platicar un poquito de fútbol, de los eliminatorios de CONMEBOL.
Exactamente. All right, then, man. Let's get to it. I've been waiting for this. I've actually been waiting for this episode. So
This was a must. For
it
for
definitely
those that don't
was
know,
actually it was actually planned out last night. Like literally, came up with that deal with Patrik to talk about the Ecuador versus Uruguay game, and then to talk about the rest of the South American qualifiers. But let's go ahead and talk about that Chile versus Uruguay game. I didn't watch it personally, but I heard there was a lot of referee problems in that game.
okay. Number one, I'm watching it, and it was pretty it was pretty balanced. But then what happened was they kept having there was all these calls that wasn't even red cards. It was just calls that were like, oh, there's gonna be this free kick or there's gonna be this foul. And then they added on, I want to say it was I think they added on eight minutes of stoppage time because I texted Luis and I was like, okay, it's gonna be 1-1. And they scored they scored the second goal, and I want to say it was like the 94th minute. And to be honest, both of these clubs, these are teams that are in transition because Uruguay, they have a really, really young squad. And Chile's kind of transitioning. I feel like Chile's transitioning kind of how Colombia was, but I think Colombia's fared better. Chile's kind of going from that golden generation to now they don't really have too many players that are really excellent, to me at least.
And I kind of said it as well too, brother. From last qualifiers when they failed to qualify for Russia, and the reason why I say it is, Eduardo Vargas is getting old. Arturo Vidal is probably the best player they have right now, and he's not getting any younger. Alexis Sanchez, he's not the Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal. He went to Man U. Basically, his career took a downfall, and now him at Inter Milan has been all right. They have better options, Lukaku, El Toro Martinez, but they're not. He's not that player anymore. So Chile, in a way, won't really be regaining that squad back. Well, knock on wood, I don't think they're gonna be regaining that team back anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's just, I don't know. I don't really see them improving.
They aren't really improving, and they've scored they scored 3 goals in 2 games. And honestly, it's kind of this transition where they didn't really produce too many players that were really coming in. They're not like Uruguay. The difference between, say, Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina, especially Brazil and Argentina, you never really see a lapse period. They're consistently producing young players. There's always going to be excellent talent coming from there versus Chile. Like you said, I mean, Vargas I'd say he's got to be like mid 30s. Alexis is early 30s. Vidal's like 35 or something. They're just not. I honestly don't see them advancing, and I know it's early, but I wasn't really that impressed.
Mm-hmm.
And the one team that I would say that really impressed me the most, just kind of like a hot take, is I think Colombia. And honestly, Ecuador's performed well too. I think Colombia and Ecuador have performed better than I thought they would.
Basically Colombia, they beat Venezuela 3-0 first game in Colombia. I'm not sure if they played in Barranquilla. I think that's where they played. They beat Venezuela that I'm not too certain about. I'm not sure who's playing. I don't know if it's Martinez that's playing. I don't know if Rondon was playing. I don't know. I know that the goalie, Fariñez, which happens to be a very good goalie, very young. And, when I saw them beat them, I'm like, you know what? They put 3 goals against a great goalkeeper. But it's not always a keeper's fault. It could be defenders. It could be from bad play. It could be from wrong decisions from any of the players. But then they go to Chile to tie. Literally, they tied with a goal by Falcao the last minute. That was pretty good. But now talking about Ecuador, you know, um, our first game, I happen to be Ecuadorian. For the people that don't know, I rep my team. I bleed it. So we lost our first game against Argentina in Argentina. We lost by penalty. We didn't attack, but we had a good plays. We had four shots and 0 were on target, which is not the best. But then we took a whole overturn playing in Quito. We only played with 3 experienced players. The goalie, Dominguez, Angel Mena, and Enner Valencia. The rest of the 8 players were young. And that game that we played, that 4-2, was honestly a great game. A whole new Ecuador attacking like hell. Some bad decisions in ref and in playing, but I really would think that these young kids are motivated after that win. So we start off with scoring the first goal, which was Angel Mena. He long shotted it from outside the box, but a kid named Moises Caicedo got a head to it. He literally a scrape on his head, and it counted as his goal. And what Angel Mena did was actually a great goal. What he did, it was like outstanding. But unfortunately, they counted it towards the other kid. Then our second goal was Estrada. Basically, Enber Valencia and Michael Estrada are going to be the best duo that Ecuador can have at the moment on top. Number 11 and number 13. Basically, there were some bad calls in that game. One goal that we scored, which was like basically a long ball. Enner caught it. Godin defended him when he tripped him, but Enner actually stood his ground, didn't fall, kept running with the ball, but it looks like it touched his hand. And, we celebrated and everything, but it looks like there were complaints last minute. And the ref checked VAR, and it just wasn't our goal. But it was a great game. Great game. Our third goal was outstanding. Literally an assist from the back of the heel from Enner Valencia to straight on the ground shot from Michael Estrada. And our fourth one was from Gonzalo Plata. He literally dribbled the ball, rolled the ball a little bit, tapped, basically just shot it in a nice little tap in. Basically an Ecuador full of young stars, I would say.
I would say too. I mean, I was looking at it, and Plata was impressive. Honestly, I felt like you had to keep in Valencia. You had Valencia, and you had Noboa, who's always been in. I don't think I've ever really seen him miss any match. They always call him up, and I think the way it was it was kind of like a match between 2 very young squads. You had Uruguay, and then you had because Uruguay, the only ones I could really remember, they had Suarez came in, they had Godin, they had Caceres, they had them at least in the squad, but Ecuador looked really well. And I think Ecuador, I feel like what we're kind of looking at is when they had the 2018 qualifiers and when they had a lot of young, I wouldn't say young, but they had a lot of promise to start off. I think we're going to see something like that. But I think this time they're going to be able to go and maintain it. Because
Yeah.
the only thing that I wonder about with them going forward is I wonder who's going to start. I know they had what's his face, Dominguez, but I wonder if he's going to be able to hold up long term because
Yeah, he's old.
not the most experienced defense, but also a lot of countries have gone backwards. Like Peru's gone backwards, Chile's
But
gone backwards.
talking about Peru, though, literally, it seems like they didn't I heard that Neymar against Neymar and Peru I know that right now, a lot of Peruvian people are not fucking with Neymar right now, man. Well, I
No,
mean,
they were mad.
I'm sorry for the language,
Oh,
but I know that he dove. I know that that game had some bad calls. So I know right now Neymar is not welcome to Peru at the moment because I saw that. You know, it was just I guess a game, but yeah, I don't really think Peru right now is gaining that that national level anymore. At one point they were, but you know, like their players are starting to get old. I'm not sure if they have any youngsters in right now, but
well,
maybe.
they do have Carrillo, and he's got 3 goals so far.
Uh,
Um, but outside of that, I mean, honestly, they played well. They played really well against Brazil. They
yeah,
and
sure.
because I think that they kind of had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because they had lost in Copa America, and they but that squad they had with Copa America was very good. This squad is not as good, but and it's like one thing that I've noticed is you watch say somebody like Neymar. Not that it's like always a Brazilian thing, but Brazilian players do have a tendency I've noticed to flop. And I've noticed during that game, he was playing well, but it was just when he gets beat or like I've noticed if he can't get past or he gets frustrated, he always tends to flop. He doesn't really like when he can't go and beat somebody with skill, he always tries to do that. So I wasn't surprised, but the Peruvians were mad.
Yeah, I mean, there was a like, in my opinion, there was a lot of bad calls in these South American like qualifiers. So we had a Colombian ref for the Ecuador and the Uruguay game, and a lot. And the thing that pissed me off the most was that 10 minutes plus and the 90th minute. Yeah, Ecuador's winning 4-1 because they got the 2 goals from penalties, and it was Suarez that kicked them, that shot the penalties. But I'm just like, man, I was watching the game with one of my friends, and my friend was like, dude, with our luck, literally, Uruguay might actually tie this game. I'm like, bro, you might as well not say anything right now. You might as well not jinx it because I'm not trying to end off the first round with 1 point. I'm trying to end it off with 3. We already lost first game. We can't lose this one. So it was just like it pissed me off. I mean, I was happy that we got the 3 points. Now Ecuador is gonna face Bolivia in November, and then we play with Colombia and Quito, which I really feel like if Ecuador is gonna beat Colombia and Quito, and if Ecuador gets at least 2 things, either 6 points or 4 points. That's what Ecuador has to strive for. Not 2 points, not 1 point, not 0 points, or not just 3 points. We have to win. We can't lose any of those games. For me, I'd probably say let's tie in Bolivia and let's beat Colombia because we haven't beaten Colombia in so long. Or if anything, if these kids can go out to La Paz and actually slam Bolivia, perfect. And then if we want to go out to Quito and use the advantage of the altitude because that's our advantage, and that's why we don't play in Guayaquil, Esmeraldas, and Manaví. We don't play anywhere else, but that's why we play in Quito. So, and we can definitely destroy Colombia, use our advantage, attack, play smart on the defense, learn how to long pass, learn how to clear the ball out, strip it out. I feel like we're gonna get a result against Colombia, even though that's not a team to be to mess with right now. But after what we did to Uruguay, we can definitely do it to Colombia. I would say. Hello.
After you get to Uruguay, yeah, I got you. I hear it.
Say that again.
I said I got you.
Okay.
But the thing about it is this though. Even if you can beat Bolivia and if you can go and get in and beat Colombia, I think 6 points, I'm not gonna it's not like it's a long session, but even within 6 points, it's really gonna help solidify it because I've noticed other clubs like not to always mention them, but say, Colombia and some of the other countries, they don't always play, for example, in Bogota. I think that's been Ecuador's biggest advantage is being able to play in Quito and also being able to go and have kind of a better transition between young players. It's not just it wasn't just a total strip down. And I also think that you guys have got that confidence from being able to go in. You beat Uruguay. The only thing that I'm wondering is if they're going to be able to maintain that level of attack. I feel like if we can see, at the very least, if we can see Valencia maybe carry them a little bit, they should be good. But I don't think Ecuador's going to need to be scoring more than really one or two goals, especially if it's in Quito and you're playing against, say, for example, Colombia. I think 2 goals or something like that would be enough.
It'd be enough. It'd definitely be enough. But after seeing this game, players I need to play. Javier Arriaga, that plays in Seattle Sounders. Estupiñán, that plays in Villarreal. Arboleda, that plays in Sao Paulo. And then the right back that his name, I know his last name is Preciado. And then for sure, I would probably say Joao Plata, Michael Estrada, Enner Valencia. They gotta at least start. Leonardo Campana could probably come in as a sub. That's if one of the strikers trying to get tired. But I feel like that'd be the best thing that could happen right there. Gonzalo Plata definitely has to come on in. Renato Ibarra, player with speed. Moises Caicedo, Angel Mena, just stuff like that. Make a good mix. I feel like definitely that. But the best thing as well too, if Felipe Caicedo, the one that plays in Lazio right now, if he decides to come out of retirement, and if he still has the skill to play, a duo with him and Enner Valencia, I would say it's done. And Quito, the two of them, it is done for. If Enner Valencia gives him the passes, and Felipe Caicedo having that ability to finish, any team, I would say Ecuador is going to go back to that 2014 World Cup qualifying mode where we went unbeaten in Quito. We didn't win at all away. We tied and lost, but we won every game in Ecuador except for Argentina, which we tied 1-1.
A lot of people don't know about that though. That Valencia Caicedo formation, that tandem was unbelievable. Caicedo was an underrated finisher too, though.
He's definitely underrated. A lot of people won't see him because he's not in Madrid, he's not in Barca, he's not in Man U, PSG, any of those big teams. But he's in a big team for sure. For us, that's a big deal. That's the only thing if he wants to come out of retirement, because literally now there's options. You can do him with Estrada. You can do Enner with Estrada. You can do Felipe and Enner that has big experience. So I'd probably say if he decides, because I know that the squad list will be coming out maybe like in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, because we play, I think, the 17th or something like that. If he decides to come back, Ecuador will definitely not. Excuse me. Ecuador is definitely. Ecuador is going to qualify. Ecuador will qualify. And we just attack, play smart, and these are young players with ambition. They're hungry. They're out there to, like, sweat the shirt, to, like, soak it. They're not there for the money anymore. They're not. We don't have those players where, we get knocked out of a Copa America. They would start drinking in the hotels, start calling up random females or, hookers or whatever. Now this is a team that just really focuses on, wow, like, as a kid, I dreamed about wearing the shirt, officially, playing the World Cup, playing in the friendly, playing in the qualifiers, playing Copa America. And now these kids are actually doing it. And they know the responsibility. They know what they got to do.
They're taking it seriously.
They're taking it serious. And a lot of these kids are coming from the U20 World Cup from last year, where we finished off third. So that's another thing too that's gonna help out. You know, we have Leonardo Campana, which was like the top scorer for the qualifying. We have Cifuentes, the one that scored the best goal in that U20 World Cup, the one that plays in LAFC. So he hasn't really been playing in these two games. But like I said, that's just adding on to the future though. Like, you know, it's exciting. Like after seeing that game, I know that Madrid lost this weekend. I really didn't care though. Like I'm a big Madrid fan, but I was like, dude, Ecuador got the win, and that's like the biggest thing for me. Like I was like, okay, Madrid lost, cool, but Ecuador got the win, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you had mentioned that, and I was like, yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, he's going to be like over the moon, because it was honestly it was a big time performance, and I feel like frankly, I agree with you. I think we're going to see Ecuador qualify,
Brazil for sure.
Brazil for sure, Argentina. Sheesh. This is where it gets tricky, to be honest. Like I do think Colombia.
Yes, Colombia has to,
I
bro.
think Colombia has to, but like I don't I don't know what level of consistency we're going to see from Colombia is a thing, because I don't know how much Colombia is going to stay the same or if they're going to be trying to change formations.
So
I don't know who
Patrick,
they're going to
you
be
know,
putting in.
if that's the
They're
same thing I got.
definitely they're
So
definitely qualifying.
this is the same thing I gotta say about Ecuador. Not just because I'm Ecuadorian, brother, but in all honesty, and it's not gonna hurt me if you say the truth, but Ecuador could definitely be inconstant. Like literally right now, we're doing good, but Ecuador can definitely, if they sleep and don't if they don't really look at what's ahead of them, definitely Ecuador will have a bad campaign. I can say that Ecuador will lose home and away. We'll have sloppy players, but if we keep on with the performance, with the energy, and if we don't have any players that, if all these players get PT in their clubs, playing domestic, playing Champions League, Europa League, the Turkish Cup, whatever, the Portuguese Cup, we're gonna be fine.
I
Ecuador will,
agree.
today we had two Ecuadorians play in Champions League. Christian Ramirez, I think he plays in Hungary, and then Felipe Caicedo that played today against Borussia Dortmund, but I think they lost.
I think they did too.
I'm actually
I'm
about to.
I'm going to say this though. In all actuality, I think Ecuador's going to
Um,
qualify, but I'm the only
um,
thing is this.
bro,
Did
Lazio beat them 3-1.
3-1?
So Immobile, there was a own goal by Hits and a goal by Akpro, and then Holland scored for them.
Okay. Sheesh. That was unexpected. You know what though? I say that, but Lazio's been performing really, really well the last
Mm-hmm.
few years. I remember they had won, it was like 2000, and then you didn't hear about them for a long time. And then the last like 3 or 4 years, I think Caicedo signed with them in like 2015,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. I want to say it was 2015, and he started to do well. And then they had Bastos. Immobile, I think, really put them on. But
Yeah,
frankly,
yeah.
I
I go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm a little surprised to see them doing something like that though, because I saw Dortmund play last year, and I saw them actually in Champions League, and they had played Inter Milan. This was like Dortmund. They're very resilient. They had come down. They were down like two. It was 2-0 at halftime, and I remember they came back and won. So
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised that they got beat like that, though.
yeah. No, but like I said though, man, I really hope that. I mean, well, in my opinion, I feel like South American qualifiers are the best qualifiers in the world, the best international tournament, not including World Cup. The best one is a Euro, And yeah.
You think? Man, I don't know. I'm gonna need to say
What do you
Copa
think?
America.
Like
Copa America,
Euro?
I think.
Nah, the Euro, brother. The Euro is literally like a mini World Cup. It's like so
It's a
nice.
mini World Cup, but it doesn't have the same level of passion though.
The thing is,
Level of competition, definitely
South
though.
America, especially playing in South America too. If it's like playing a Copa America in South America, not like how we played in 2016 here, where Messi jetted the fucking ball in New York.
Jetted the ball.
He jetted the ball in New
He
York.
did though.
New York Jets. New York fucking Jets. Um, I'd probably say, bro, that, yeah, the passion's there, but I don't know. It's just more interesting. Like, and not even trying to go off topic though, dude. But there's this one goal, not at Eder's goal that gave Portugal the title. But do you remember Luka Modric in 2016, that volley goal that he scored against Turkey? I know you remember that, bro. Why
That goal
isn't
was
that goal?
tough.
That goal is not as like slept on as hell. Like when I say slept on, it's not even, people forget about it. Like people talk about the Shaqiri bicycle kick against I don't know.
It
Was it
was
Albania or was it Poland? It was Poland.
Albania. It was no, I think it was against Albania because he had it, and then everybody was making a big deal about it, and it was good, but
You remember
eh,
when Cristiano like scored that one goal from, it was like a corner, he like crossed his legs and he like tapped it in, but that shit was nice though.
it was
But
really nice.
I mean, but that's the thing though, dude. That goal, well, I mean, there was Payet's goal against Romania. A lot of people don't talk about that one though. In
I
the first,
forget that goal. Which one was that one? That was
that was the inauguration game where it was like where it was a 2-1. It was a 2-1. Payet literally scored like on the corner. It was like it was a top bins goal. It was like last minute. Might you better look it up.
That's gonna
Roma-
be this. That's gonna. I'm putting that in. I'm putting that one in the episode.
is
I
Romania
can
even
say
good? That's a real thing I want to know. Is Romania even good?
Romania had this guy. We did the episode with the Millonarios supporters. For those
Mm-hmm.
that don't know, we did that one, and when we had that episode, they were talking about George Hagi. That guy was the Colombian killer. And Romania always has had some pretty decent players. They had this guy, Florin Andone, and he was playing in Spain. Yeah, he was playing with Deportivo La Coruña. He went over to Brighton. I don't know if he's still with Brighton or not, but he was doing pretty well actually.
Oh, really?
I
No.
think though, I don't know what's going to happen with Euro, but I'm thinking to get back to South America, what I'm predicting is this. I'm going to say number one, Brazil. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I'll say it in order, but I'll just say who I think is going to qualify.
All right.
I think
Remember,
Brazil.
four teams. Four teams qualify automatically. One team has to play a playoff.
Number one, I got to put in Brazil. I have to put in Argentina.
Colombia.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm going to put in Colombia. I'm going to put in Ecuador.
Uruguay. Maybe not. Maybe Paraguay.
I
That's
think
it.
Paraguay, to be honest. I'm putting Paraguay myself.
There's three teams that are probably gonna make that one. I don't see Peru making it. Well, damn, bro. No, literally, if the World Cup would have stick with 48 teams, no, they would have actually done that 48 team things, the 48 teams instead of the 32. I think Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina would have been solid already. But I don't see Venezuela. So Venezuela definitely not qualifying.
Yeah, definitely not. Bolivia, no
Definitely.
chance.
I don't think Peru is good either. They only have 1 point. Literally, now is going to be a good fight. Brazil is laughing their asses off with Argentina, just looking like at us. Colombia is laid back. Ecuador is like a warrior right now. Uruguay, basically, they got stripped out of their ass by Ecuador, and Ecuador exposed their problems. So I'd probably say it's gonna be a fight. Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia are gonna have a breeze to it, while Chile, Uruguay, and Ecuador are gonna fight for it, and in Paraguay too. Paraguay is probably gonna be fighting up there, but if Uruguay, I think Uruguay is gonna become fourth. If anything, Ecuador is gonna have to play a playoff.
Okay, I can see that. I still think it's gonna be like. I think Ecuador will barely slide in at fourth. I think it's gonna be is like fourth through six. Really, even I'd say like 4 through 7 is gonna be really close. I think what it'll be like is that Ecuador barely gets in at 4. I think Paraguay will barely get in at 5. I think it's gonna be like Paraguay gets in like 1 point above Uruguay. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be the thing that's going to be the shocker. I think a lot of people are not going to anticipate that. I feel like, personally, I think Chile and Peru, not to totally diminish them, but I just don't see them as
Yeah,
being at the same level. So it'll probably be between the three. And like you said, though, the only thing that makes me nervous with Ecuador is, are they going to be staying disciplined and staying determined? Because they have the talent and all, but
they
it's a
have
young club. Like, are they going to
it.
go and be, if they have, say they lose 2-1 versus Bolivia, is that going to be the type of thing that's going to go and kind of set it off for them?
It's not really.
If they
If
lose like something like that, they know they should win.
Okay, so the thing is this, Argentina beat them, right? But the thing is, it's Argentina. I'd probably say that loss is gonna hurt if we were to lose against Bolivia in Bolivia, because I'm saying Ecuador can at least seal a point. Seal a point. We haven't lost in Bolivia in a good minute. 2018 World Cup qualifiers. We tied 2-2. 2014, we tied 1-1. I remember that one in 2014 because I remember Caicedo caught a penalty. That's when Chucho Benitez passed away. But we haven't lost in Bolivia in a good minute. We haven't. So if we can at least attack, get the win, that is fine. And then if we tie against Colombia and Quito, it's not going to satisfy me because I need us to beat them. Well, if the future is like this, we tie in Ecuador with Colombia, but we beat Colombia and Colombia, which I doubt is going to happen, that's fine by me. But I would honestly love to get the 6 points. If we get 4 points by tying with Bolivia and by beating Colombia, I'm gonna be a happy man. I'll be a satisfied person right there. But with 6 points, happy
I
as
would
hell.
be happy. 6 points, and let's not forget, I mean, Colombia is a strong team. What I think is going to be the deciding factor for y'all is, can you beat, say, the Paraguay, the Chile, the Peru,
So,
the type of teams where it's like it's matches you should win, but sometimes you inevitably you slip up. I think yes, and that's why I think that Ecuador is going to go and slide in at fourth. I think Colombia
so,
is a little bit stronger, more experienced,
mm-hmm. So
but
this is what I was
I don't
thinking.
know.
In the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, we went off to win 4 games in a row. With that includes us beating Argentina and Argentina 2-0. But this time we lost a game, we won a game. We're not starting off perfect because that's where it would have scared me. If we were to beat Colombia and Bolivia, that will scare me because I don't want the coach to go on, call up some old ass players. And just because we beat Bolivia and we beat Colombia and Quito, I don't want the coach to think, okay, I'm going to use a weaker team. I want to see Ecuador's games after November. I know that we play in March games. I want to see. I want to see that real quick. Okay, so we play with Venezuela, which honestly, I really feel like, bro, right there, and I'm not even gonna lie though, dude. Oh my god, I'm just looking at this right now. If Ecuador can definitely play the same way that they did against Uruguay in November and of March, Patrik, Ecuador is definitely gonna seal 12 points, beating Bolivia, beating Argentina, beating Venezuela, and then our last game in March is against Chile in Quito. It's a wrap. I really feel like in those games we could at least, that's either 8 points or 12 points. I don't think Ecuador is going to lose in those 4 games. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't see Ecuador losing any of those games. Okay, if we had to, it's Chile and Quito. I don't think they've ever beaten us in Quito before. I think maybe in the 2010 qualifiers, but that was a different team, I guess. But I don't really see Chile coming to do any damage to us in our own home.
I think that's going to be 8 to 10 points, though. Especially when it's in Quito, this is going to be really, really difficult.
I like I said,
I think
okay.
realistically 8 to.
Okay, this is what
Probably more.
this is what I'm gonna say. Oh damn, we have Copa America next June. That's crazy as hell. But okay, let me see. Okay, so looking at Ecuador right now, November 12th, I'd probably say best thing we get, we beat Bolivia.
Hey, look at
2-1.
it. Oh, this is what I'm seeing.
Huh?
This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Bolivia, then Colombia, then Venezuela, then Chile, then Brazil, then Peru. Out of
Yeah.
all of those,
The worst game, we're gonna lose against Brazil, but we get a tie.
that's done. That's done. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But the fact that like you face Colombia and the fact that you also face Peru in Ecuador, and then you also face Chile in Ecuador. I mean, these are games I thought could have been a gimme game, but I don't think so. Honestly, what's going to be difficult for you guys though is this: you have most of your matches are going to be at home. You have in Venezuela, which won't be tough. In Brazil, okay, no chance. Not no chance, but it's done.
Yeah.
You have a really easy. I'm sorry, but you guys have a really pretty easy qualifying start. Like I'm not seeing anything even until next summer. I'm not even in 2021. These matches are not looking very difficult.
No, they're not. Like I said,
Not until Not until
I
March.
really feel like, bro. Okay, look, we beat Bolivia 2-1 in Bolivia. We beat Colombia 1-0 or 2-0 at least. With Venezuela, I'd probably say Ecuador can seal a win, no doubt. Ecuador can seal that win. Ecuador and Chile, 2-0 or 3-0. Brazil versus Ecuador, we lose 3-0, 4-0. But if Ecuador really gets on the shit, we could probably have a close loss or even tie. But then Ecuador and Peru, I think we can win that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this right now, and I feel I just don't see it being too difficult. But again, I think the consensus for both of us though is I think we both know Brazil and Argentina for sure, and Colombia for sure.
Mhm.
The only question that it's going to be is which Ecuador is going to show up. If Ecuador stays on their game, they should be good. I still think Paraguay though. I hate to get back to it, but I just don't think that they're getting enough respect. I think they've actually
Yeah.
it's only two, but I mean so far they've been doing really well. They're at what's it, 80 like 85 86% passes. They haven't scored that many goals, but I don't believe that they've how many goals have they allowed? I want to say it's been the first match they've allowed got 4 points on a +1 goal differential. I
Mm.
think they're gonna be pretty good. I think that both Paraguay and Ecuador are the two teams that people aren't really expecting, but I think they're going to be performing very well.
I think so too.
Or,
So like I said, hopefully our young players get their playing time and the domestic leagues. They don't get injured, and I really feel like that's going to be key for Ecuador, and they're gonna end up qualifying. Yep.
I agree. Now, if you have any other advice for your fellow Ecuadorians or anything that you think maybe as an Ecuadorian people should know about the club or about South American qualifiers,
So to my
yeah,
Ecuadorians out
that
there,
I'm just listening.
and especially to the national team, I know they won't see this, but if our podcast becomes big, por favor, ataquen, 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 ataquen y ataquen. No se dejen golear. Enséñele a cualquier equipo en Quito quién es Ecuador.
Ya tú sabes, no sean un culero, por lo menos que usted se tiene que atacar, atacar. No se puede andar con esas tonterías, bro.
Exactly. There you go.
Sabes. Signing por todo. This is Patrik signing off.
This is Luis signing off.
And let's see.
We can just cut this part off, even though it's still recording.